Hi, I'm Rob, this is Gems of War. In this video I'm showing 3 different teams using our new mythic, Archproxy Yvendra. Now from now on I'm just going to call her Ivendra, because otherwise I know at some point I'm going to accidentally call her Archproxy Yvendra. Now there's nothing poxy about her at all. She's actually really awesome and she's one of the best mythics in the game for me. She's just so versatile, her spell is devastating and she can just absolutely wreck the opposition. Got 3 different teams here. One does require another mythic to work really well, but the other 2 do not. They are really cheap teams and they both work pretty well as well, so keep an eye out for those later on in the video. But on with the first one. First team works really well with the Lord of Slaughter. Now the reason is the Lord of Slaughter uses the exact opposite colours of Ivendra, so between them two they use all 6 colours. So when you cast Thrall and destroy 35 gems in my case, you don't waste any of them. You're gaining all the benefit of that spell, as well as gaining bonus purple from that third trait, which is a good thing. The Lord of Slaughter, if you're not familiar, creates 6 brown gems, then converts all brown gems to Doomskulls. So it is a devastating spell when cast at the correct moment, but you do have to cast it when there are plenty of brown there, because it can go wrong. If you only cast it when there's a few brown there, it can miss completely and you could just set up the other team for a really bad counter attack. So the more brown the better for his spell. As well as that, that Savage Strike is a superb third trait. 100% chance to ignore armor with skull damage effectively makes skull damage with him true damage, so that's really good. Yvendra's spell is, I would say, more reliable because it doesn't require any luck whatsoever to work. Converts all yellow gems to Uber Doomskulls, so you can see if you're going to get any sort of alignment straight away. Even a 3 match with this spell works really well. You don't have to rely on getting a 4 match with it, because a lot of teams, when you get these convert a certain colour to skulls, you have to make sure you get a 4 match, otherwise you can set the other team up. But because these are Uber Doomskulls, their explosion is a lot bigger than normal, so you get a lot more mana generation back, and you mess up the board a lot more as well. So don't worry too much about 4 matches all the time with them, but if you have a 3 match, particularly in the middle of the board, that is still fairly safe to cast, because you get a big explosion, you get a ton of mana back, and it messes up the board. So if there was other possibilities of you setting up the team for a skull counter attack, there's a good chance it'll be messed up anyway. And her mana cost of 30, don't worry about that either, because it seems really high, but with those Uber Doomskulls generating so much mana, you get a ton of that back, so that is not anything to worry about. Really good first trait as well. Immune to mana drain, silence, fairy fire and web means once she gets mana she pretty much keeps it, and it's going to be really hard to stop her getting that mana and stopping her from casting. I've put Queen Beatrix in this team as well, because when you get a new mythic troop in this game, especially when they're a skull spammer like Ivendra is, a lot of players counter this by picking a team where you're entangled on the first turn, to stop that, obviously, the damage from that skull creation. So with Beatrix's third trait there, cleanse all allies when matching 4 or more gems, means if we are entangled we won't be for long. As well as that, her spell is awesome too, creates 9 green and brown gems and then deals 2 scatter damage, but we use green and brown, so that is good for our team also. What we're going to try and do is cast Thrall as quickly as possible. Now with the benefits from our class and things like that, we immediately will charge Thrall the second he is ready to go. So always look around for 4 or 5 matches first. Not too worried about taking that one hit from that. I'm more worried about things like Mercy there, transforming purple to yellow. So you have to look out for this sort of thing. We want to mess that up. And the best way to do this is we've got like a 4-way thing here. This is a really good thing for new players to look out for. If I'm saying anything obvious, it's because I do try and do my videos for new players as well as the more experienced. And this is the best one to take here. When you take this blue to here, you're going to get the green from there, the purple from there, and the yellow from there. So that is a good chain reaction which we're going to get. And it worked out a lot more than that. We actually got charged up across the board. Now we've got Ivendra charged already, look. So her convert all yellow gems to Uber Doomskulls works really well because we've got it aligned here. So we'd definitely pick her out of the choice of Lord of Slaughter, because he creates brown gems, but that is not as reliable. So let's unleash Yvendra, and that has wiped out their first enemy just like that. Now there's only 6 brown there, but it's not set in stone that this will work with Lord of Slaughter, but we'll give it a go, and it worked out pretty decent as well. And we got a extra turn here. Don't automatically take it, because just have a quick look around for any 4 matches first, which are going to work better with Yvendra. There's not. So again, I would actually take this now. Don't take the blue first, because that may set up a reaction where this actually spoils this part here. So we do a Lord of Slaughter first in that case. Now we can take the bonus blue, because we may get just a lucky chain reaction of some sort. Now this is particularly good on Yvendra, and you see what I mean when we cast this now about how much mana we get back. There wasn't actually a lot at that time. Normally it's a lot more than that, so thanks for doing that to me, game. But we'll take this 4 match there, and now there's lots of blue there. Lots of blue, sorry, brown. So this should be a fairly safe cast for the Lord of Slaughter to finish that game off in a hurry. And as you can see, Yvendra went from, I think, 12 or 13 mana or something like that, fully charged off of that one cast from the Lord of Slaughter. So he helped charge her as well. So that's how that team works. It's pretty straightforward. On to the next one. Next one is probably my favourite team out of these 3 that I've created. And it's a converting team. And the reason I like it is because it still relies on Yvendra's spell to do most of the damage. But we use an Essence of Evil in first place. And this is such a cool weapon. I love it. It's such a good hero weapon. Basically, the idea is we get this charge first, drop this on the first opponent. That stops them being able to retaliate with damage should they get a chance to. And if we cast Yvendra's spell, then we're safe from damage from the opposition. But it's Diviner and Divine Ishbala which work so superbly with this team. Diviner transforms a chosen colour to yellow, and then does one of the following. But I'm not too worried about any of them things. It's the chosen colour to yellow, which is absolutely superb, because Ishbala transforms red to skulls and then green to yellow. So what we want to do first is cast the Diviner first, because a chosen colour to yellow will charge up Yvendra, as well as put loads of yellow on the board. And that's good for 2 reasons. First of all, Yvendra's spell converts all yellow to Uber Doom Skulls. But if that doesn't work out, then green to yellow obviously gives a very good chance to get even more mana generation and possibility of skulls damage. With Diviner, when you change the colour to yellow, try not to pick green. If you can not pick green, that works out better for Ishbala because of the change green to yellow part of her spell. So, and I've gone for Assassin on this one. On the banners, what did I go for? +2 green, +1 purple, -1 red. Gets our main troops charged up nice and quick, which is what we want. And class, I've gone for Assassin, because that 10% chance to assassinate the last enemy when I deal skull damage is going to be happening a reasonable amount, and there's a chance to just wipe out the last opponent just automatically. And I haven't got all of these yet, but I've gone for Hunter's Mark a random enemy on 4 or 5 of a kind. When an enemy dies, freeze another one. 20% chance to summon a Sister of Shadows when an enemy dies. And a 35% chance to summon a Bandit when an ally dies. Stealthy is always good, and that's it. But if I did have these ones as well, I'd probably go for Dodge. Oh, pardon me. And yeah, and that one. 7% chance to assassinate the last enemy when another enemy dies as well. So they're all really, really good. And let's give this one a go. This one can end games really, really fast when it all works together. I've done it a few times and it was absolutely superb. Just got to be careful of what Mercy's going to do here on regarding the transform purple to yellow. So we need to disrupt this if we can. we could do this by taking the skull, which will drop down the yellow, or we can just take the yellow ourselves, which is probably the best option, because we can take the hit from the skull if they decide to take it, but taking this yellow will guarantee Ivendra is charged up. Even though yellow is the last colour we want to take from her, really, because the more yellow on the board, the better it is for her spell. Right, we've got no alignment initially on Ivendra, because unless you're at least 3 in a row, there's no benefit to casting her. So we look for green instead for our Essence of Evil. Now Mercy has been very kind to us and generated a lot of yellow for us, so that is very kind, and we'll say thank you very much and give her a slap in the chops for her effort and continue about our day. It's worked out good. This is a good one. Look, so we can take the skull damage there and drop down the yellow for a 4 match. And now we'll just cast Essence of Evil on somebody. And now this is where this team comes into its own. It's everybody charged, and we've got an absolute ton of options now. We can transform a chosen colour to yellow, which is no point doing right now because Ivendra is charged, but we can make it work in our favour, because if we change a colour to yellow, that gives a 4 match, but not much more, we can guarantee that we'll have a lot of yellow left after, which when we cast that, so I made a bit of a mess up of that. I should have looked at that a bit more carefully. There would have been a way of setting up for yellow much better, but we've got it now, so I'll do that now. Sayonara to them. And now we've got, again, several options. We've got the yellow still from Ivendra, because even though she's 30 mana cost, she charged herself up absolutely instantly. But now we also have Ishbala, who transforms red to skulls and green to yellow. So we can take simple matches like that, and we'll give it again here. Or if we want to play it really safe, we can just cast Essence of Evil, double up on them, and see what happens to the board afterwards. And now the chances are this is going to be an end for them in just a second, so I'm not worried about looking to see how perfect their match was going to be. But red to skulls on Ishbala look absolutely going to wipe out the opponent, and that team works really well. You probably could have manipulated the colours a little bit better than what I did there, but I was talking at the same time, and that's my excuse. On to the final team. This is the least reliable of all, but it is pretty cheap to cast. I mean, to at the cost as well. It's very similar. Essence of Evil, Thrall, Ivendra, we know about them. King Avalon, the reason why he's here is for that main 50% start on elves. Very handy, so we start with 15 from our 30 we need straight away to cast Ivendra. And all we need is a fairly fast start. We want to get Essence of Evil charged nice and quickly if we can. Start off with those bonus 5 matches there. Again, I'm not worried about that, because you want to actually give the AI that sort of thing. A lot of the time the AI does take skull damage when it's there, even though it's entangled, so it won't actually do anything like that. So that was almost like an extra turn really for us, or a free turn at least. Now Ivendra is ready to go, and we've got the 4 match there, look, so absolutely worth casting. It's bye-bye to him. She didn't get much of her mana back then, that was actually extremely low. Now because we've not got so much mana, we will cast Essence of Evil, and I'll bung it on the second troop there. I'll grab that 4 match. Now we'll explode Thrall, because we'll get a lot of mana generation from that. That didn't actually work out that good. And I've got to make sure I don't get hit again, because I don't really want the hero to die. So I do like Essence of Evil. Now, does Ivendra align yellow to skulls? No, it doesn't. So let's not the best. Can either explode Thrall here and hope for the best, or we can go Essence of Evil and just make sure we get some mana generation back and see if we survive, which we did. And now we've got a very good lineup on yellow, and that is the main enemy troop out of the way. Now we may as well just cast Thrall again, get Ivendra charged up. We got a lucky 4 match somewhere. Now we're just looking for yellow. We'll cast that. And that was a lot of damage in, but not quite enough to kill. But that is. So that's a fairly reliable team, that one. It's not the best, it can go wrong. Overall I prefer the one with Ishbala in it, which is really good because you've got so many choices all the time about what you can do. So there's 3 teams, all for Ivendra, all pretty decent. And if you found the video useful or helpful, please consider liking and subscribing because it really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.